going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do a video, running solo once again. Decision will be coming out about the merger probably Wednesday or Thursday of this upcoming week. Gotten a lot of feedback, and that feedback's being overlooked. Not overlooked, my apologies. It's being looked over, and I think a decision for the best is going to be made. So those of you that have been concerned over what the merger that has been possibly going to occur, I think some of you will be happy with the result of where it is going to head. And again, like I said, I'm going to discuss that sometime about Wednesday or Thursday. I've got a couple things that have to be done this week, so this will be just to forewarn you guys. This video will be the last video I do before probably Wednesday or Thursday, because there is a UFC event coming up, so I want to make sure I get predictions out on that. Which I may try to get a video knocked out on that today and upload that, but I won't be doing any other videos until at least Wednesday or Thursday, so just an FYI. The reason I'm back here and doing a video is I was asked to talk about judging in mixed martial arts, and I've done a lot of videos on this, and I'm not going to go into depth again. Not because I don't want to, it's just because I've beaten the subject to death. So I'm going to link in response one of my earlier videos that I've discussed on judging, where you guys can listen to my thoughts. It doesn't change, it's the same. And I talked about only time will tell to see how judging either progresses or how judging goes into a bad limelight. And where are we at with judging in mixed martial arts today? It's in a bad limelight. I really thought, and I think I had faith in the sport that judging would slowly start to evolve like we've seen mixed martial arts do. We'd see some of these judges like Cecil Peoples, Nelson Hamilton, Adelaide Bird. You'd see some of these individuals start to understand the sport, start to try to maybe get involved in the sport, and be able to understand the concepts and what should mean more and what shouldn't mean more. Now, of course, that's always going to be up to interpretation of what I look at in a fight and what you may look at in a fight. But there are always, at least should be I don't know what that was, at least should be some base criteria that you go off of. And it doesn't seem like that's happening in MMA. And I think the number one problem with this, and I've talked about this, and this is what I said to death, and that's why I'm not going to go crazy in depth on this video about it, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I want to hear what you think about it, and I want to see if you agree. The judges in mixed martial arts come from boxing, okay? There's the first problem, number one. And there's nothing wrong with boxing. I love boxing. It's one of the reasons that I got into MMA, because I watched it when I was younger, and I've talked about that with you guys. Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea. I've talked about some of the other fighters that I liked from when I was younger and my dad had boxing on. But, you cannot expect, and I think this is where I was at fault, and maybe even all of us were at fault, for trying to think that guys that are coming from boxing and judging mixed martial arts will be able to evolve with the sport. They're always still going to look at certain things that they saw from boxing. It's just in the blood. There's nothing that we're going to be able to do, I think, to change that. And it's apparent in these fights. Guys that should be judging mixed martial arts are guys that are veterans, guys that have fought, guys that are highly involved. Pat Miletich used to go over, in Pride and Dream, and I think he still does from time to time, and judges mixed martial arts over there. Get guys involved in judging that have been involved in the sport, that know what's going on. And the next thing that needs to happen, and I've said this as well, the Nevada State Athletic Commission needs to be the forefront and the spearhead and form rules that are all over in every single one of the commissions. And make sure that there is a main regulatory body, just like you have in the Amateur Athletic Union. You have a main spearheaded place that makes the rules, and then it's branched out to the other states. That's what needs to happen here, because there's just too much of disparity, where you watch a Bellator event, and you see how the judging and the reffing is, and you watch a Strikeforce event, and then a UFC event, and it looks totally, and this is really sad, it looks totally different. totally different with the reffing and the judging, and that should not be the case. This is mixed martial arts. It is a sport. It should not be like that, and I think that is the problem. There's not enough regulation. I've said that a million times, and I'll say it again. There still isn't enough regulation, because if there was enough regulation, this would not be happening night in and night out, and it is. So something needs to be done. Someone needs to step up and be able to force rules into effect across all of the commissions across the United States, and then it's going to be up to the other continents of whether they want to, follow suit. Whether Japan wants to be involved, whether some of the events over in Britain and Germany, if they want to be involved. You can't force another continent to do that. But I think as far as North American MMA is concerned, it has to change, because when you start seeing people turn their televisions off over this, that is where the sport starts to have problems. And it's the truth. Ratings for Strikeforce over the past couple months have gone gradually up, believe it or not. I was reading a report. Ratings for the UFC have gone slightly down. What's the cause of this? Is it because people don't have money? I don't think that's it at all. People were paying before, but it's an issue of, number one, wrestling has come into effect where wrestling accounts for more than other things in the skill set of mixed martial arts. And I'm just saying that that's my personal opinion. I didn't think that at first until I started seeing guys like Ben Askren, guys like John Fitch that don't attempt to finish, and they're getting either hit from the bottom by an individual, or they're getting sub attempts thrown up on them. Some of these things have to count for more. When you take a guy down, if you don't achieve a greater position, or you don't do any damage, yeah, the takedown should count, but not count as much as some individuals are making it out to be. And of course there's clinch control and cage control and all that, and I don't want to get into how MMA should be judged. I'm just saying that in general, people are getting turned off from MMA because of that. They're getting turned off of MMA because of the lackluster judging, and they're getting turned off on MMA because of the reffing. It's apparent. I've seen it on the Sherdog threads. When I got this message today from Andrew Arbogast1, I went on the threads today, and there's a couple places where people have responded at least 250, 300 times, and I'm not kidding. I mean, if you go on Sherdog, you can see this. So I said, you know what, I'll go ahead and do a video. And I told him that it was a good topic. I wasn't going to go crazy into depth on it, but it's a problem. It obviously is a problem, because you wouldn't see this. And the UFC has had a couple questionable decisions. The Nam Pham fight that just happened recently, whether you agreed or disagreed, it still was a questionable decision. The athletic commissions, it shows through, just like with this whole thing with Chael Sonnen. I wouldn't be surprised if a lawsuit comes out on that. And I was one of the individuals that was against Chael Sonnen, and now I'm not, because let me just say this, and I'm going to skirt away from this for a second. I don't know how many of you are involved in legal issues or you're familiar with this, but I'm just going to throw my opinion out there. Anytime an individual has a hardship like that, and it is a possibility that it may hurt their character or may hurt their image, you have to make special accommodations to be able to still follow the rules and make sure that the individual does what they're supposed to do, but make sure that you do not ruin their image or character. The same thing applies. There was a court case, a landmark court case that happened in Florida where an individual was going to be taking their driver's license, and she did not want to remove her veil because she was Muslim. And the Department of Transportation said no, or Department of Motor Vehicles, the DMV. The DMV said no, you're going to take it off and you're going to take this picture. Well, here's the thing. It's a sincere religious belief in that situation. She had to be given the proper, which the court did see, give the proper accommodations to make sure that she was in a room with a woman so she could remove her veil, not with a man, take the picture, and then put the veil back on. She still had to do what had to be done, but she was given the opportunity to make sure that she wasn't, her rights and her image was not infringed upon. The same thing applies here. Chael Sonnen has a sincere, from what it sounds like, whether it's, you can believe it or not believe it, but the documentation is there that he has a sincere medical condition that is a private condition that is something that could ultimately hurt his image, you have to make accommodations for that. And the CSAC said, no, you're going to say it right here in front of 30-some-odd men in the middle of a room, and if you've got a problem, oh well. And then they went ahead and put him on suspension. And then didn't want to listen to any of his testimony. The same thing that happened, whether you want to agree that Sean Shirk popped or not. And Sean Shirk brought forth evidence about his, the specific amount of the tub that he had of his protein that came out. Like 50-some-odd tubs from that company were accidentally infused with, a testosterone. And he had the evidence. He showed that it happened after the fact that they released the evidence that it, did happen. And they said, no, you should have been aware of this. Back to the subject at hand, and I just wanted to throw off a tangent to make a point. The commissions obviously are not doing what is right, which is apparent here. They don't have any idea about how to follow legalities, which is a problem. This is why the CSAC is still in trouble with lawsuits. And it's not just the CSAC. There's been, articles that have come out about the Ohio Commission. There's been articles that have come out about, some of the lower commissions down here in the South. Florida had a couple lawsuits not too long ago that I had read about. I didn't get to see the whole thing, per se, but just in general, there has to be something changed here, because if this continues down the route it's going, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll be the one to say it, and if it happens, then maybe I was right. If it doesn't happen, well then, my foresight was lacking, if you want to say. But if this doesn't change here in the next year or two, mixed martial arts will go down a path that is not going to be good. Fans are not going to put up with this. They're not going to keep watching, and it's not going to grow the sport either. People aren't going to want to come watch this and see these kind of questionable decisions, these questionable faults by the commissions, at least in my opinion. I may not agree. And the questionable reffing in general, the judging, the reffing, the commissions. People don't want to see that. People don't want to see that. I'm just telling you. I don't want to see it. And I'm a diehard MMA fan. Doesn't mean that I don't stop watching MMA, but can you understand why someone would not want to watch? Of course, I could understand that 100%. So this is something that's got to get changed. There's no doubt about it, at least in my opinion. Let me know what you think about this. I'm sure some of you will have different ideas about this. Some of you may not even think that it's a problem, that it's just part of the sport, that happens. And that is true. The NFL, the NBA, they have their faults, but is it really as bad as sometimes this is? That's what I want to hear. Is MMA worse off than some other sports? Let me know what you think. I think that this is a good topic. I think that without getting too much more into depth, I'm going to go ahead and stop. Give me some thoughts on it. Give me your comments. I will be back to do my UFC predictions. That's coming up next week with GSP and Koscheck. And that's going to be a good fight card, so I'll go ahead and run over that. And on that note, you guys take it easy. And I'll see you Wednesday or Thursday for another topic video and to let you guys know what's going on with the merger. Take it easy, guys.